And now we come to call to the audience. Mary Murphy.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, board. Mary Murphy, Green Valley. I was trying to slip a couple of things in there past you. I know I can get anything past you.
You were going to tell us about your corporation, right?
I'm a corporation. My homeowners association is a corporation. I am a corporate member. And given that my family members started the homeowners association and it was built on family values, I will continue to hawk that. And by the way, I had an eye-to-eye with a hawk in my backyard. And I'm feeding a local squirrel. And squirrely is the only adjective that has not been used to describe me. So feel free. Sarita Fest was fun. I talked to the representatives from Hud Bay about the Rosemont mine. I said union a couple times and I beat it out of there. I learned that from Grandpa Johnny. Anyways, it's still a horror story in my neighborhood. I'm leaving some paper with you. I'm new to the internet. And these fabulous websites. I have the Green Valley Fairways Property Owners Association website. You're going to want to buy a home in my neighborhood, let me tell you, and they are going cheap. It is a ghetto. What does it do for me? Well, one thing it does is belong to the Green Valley Council. And the expenditures of District 4 office in Green Valley should include at least one copy of the CMG Drainageway Engineering Inspection. I do want to see that. How can I redress grievances if I do not see the documents? Anyways, website page. And the ongoing vandalism that was done to my home. Thought I'd a copy in there. Oh, and then I pulled out of the archives of the library named after the supervisor of District 4, Ed Joyner. His picture's hanging near the men's room. I went into the locked archives and took out the picture of my Aunt Marge Margarita, front and center at Catholic Mass at the villas. She is archival, my family is as well. She is front and center in the white mantilla. Aunt Fran and Uncle Bill are behind her. This is before the Catholic Church was built. She has the ashes on her forehead. The others don't, so this might be her second go-round at Mass that morning, so I don't know. That's Father Klinkenhammer. You'll notice the 3-pole lamp. I have one in storage. It was after the blessing of the tropical storms that we had recently. While some people griped about the rain, other people cried about the deaths. It was the last storm, Simon, that brought to me an epiphany moment. I want you to know that my family came here. And it was on the heels of those Sisters of St. Joseph who were on the bay, and it was the cloud formations. And here are the copies of her favorite hymn, How Great Thou Art, and thank you, Father, for your invocation.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Victoria Davis.
My name is Victoria Davis, Madam Chair and members of the board. I again highly recommend that the call to the public come close to the beginning of the meeting before the executive session instead of clear at the end. That way you would encourage more involvement from Pima County residents and be more respectful of them. Again, thank you for providing this forum so that we can try to bring your attention to our concerns. But I want you to be aware that it costs the taxpayer 1 to 3 meals to pay for the parking that we have to have this privilege. I urge the board to vote to release the county attorney's opinion to the public in regards to your using your office budget funds to donate to various charities and outside organizations. Whether or not we find out if this was legal or illegal, it has the smell of corruption. You should have to return the funds you have donated over the years, or at least pay a hefty fine for so blatantly misusing our money for your own purposes. In any case, I urge you to vote to stop this practice immediately. Don't hem and haw and justify yourselves and point fingers and blame those wascally wabbit Republicans or authorize a full investigation to report back to you. Just stop the practice immediately, cease and desist. In my statement to you last Tuesday, I said that you are out of touch with reality and you are tone deaf to how much your policies have hurt and continue to hurt the poor and middle class and businesses in Pima County. So please remove the shadow of corruption that hangs over you as we find out more about this shady use of taxpayer money, and stop the practice with no equivocation. Make it clear and transparent. Thank you.
My name's, good morning. Madam Chairman of the Board of Supervisors, my name is Jerry Altagoni and I live in Oro Valley. And I have planned to speak the same about the opinions of the County Barbara Lawal Supervisor, but apparently you all voted yes on it, so therefore that tells me that you want to be somewhat open and above board. So instead, I've decided to discuss the possibility of, we know that 90% of the tent is pit bulls, adult, and 80% of the tent, or the facility, is pit bulls. Now, if those people who have pit bulls would go and love pit bulls and do the same thing they do down in Green Valley, then we would have a situation that would be self-funding. There's ways to self-fund, and since those people who spent so much money for Pro 415 could certainly use the money, and I'm sure they can get other money to keep a pit bull facility. So if we didn't have pit bulls in Pima County, then the facility, then it would not be necessary for a $22 million facility, which, like this lady here, and we seniors, is affecting us financially. It's not a latte, because my taxes just went up this last month, and that was before I got my new tax bill. So therefore, and I also understand that we could redo a whole new bill and make it a $5 to $9 million pet facility, a very nice ones for the ones that don't have to have all those pit bulls in there. I have pit bulls, so I know all about pit bulls. So don't say that they can be sweet and cuddly, but they can also turn because they have to protect their pack. So that's why they attack the fragile and children. Anyway, the gentleman who is the mayor down in South Tucson apparently is quite concerned because they might have to eliminate some police gentlemen from their from the city government. So therefore, that would be a real problem for them. Perhaps they should have their own facility. And thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you. Richard Hernandez?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Richard Hernandez, but I have a feeling that some of you probably already know that. For the record, I live in the city of Tucson in Pima County. I also had to change my recommendations thanks to Sharon Bronson's decision not to let us visit on number 4 today. But that's okay, because you're actually helping me. Now I can have a little bit more broad information to share with you. First of all, I'd like to see that decision now that it's available. And I want to comment, as I did last time I visited with you, the use of one nickel that belongs to us without you telling us publicly is illegal, unethical. I suggested to you last time that you should take the moral high road. I think I also shared a lesson with you about how we proud Hispanics were taught by our parents not to take anything that didn't belong to us. But there's some concerns I want to address. First of all, there's a saying in Spanish que, for those of you who don't know, it's called como es el dicho. It's a saying. Well, let me share with you, and I'm standing in front of you, I'm talking to the public and those of you listening on TV. The reality is, if you say something long enough, even if it's a lie, you start to believe it. That's the dicho. So this board, what, $1 billion in debt? It's okay. You don't mind they raise your taxes, right? Those of you who spoke earlier. This board giving money to their favorite charities without checking with us, that's okay, right? It's been done so long, it's just, we believe it to be true anymore, right? It's interesting, I have to tell you, Richard, I saw you on TV the other day, I'm learning from you. Wow. To accuse Supervisor Ali of trying to destroy the board, I'll step up to that. I want to destroy corruption. I want to destroy favoritism. I want to destroy people giving money wrongfully. I want to destroy a county attorney who behaves like a defense attorney. We empower him to make sure the laws are covered, but instead he chooses to protect you, even if it's in violation of the law. Como es el dicho? What is the saying? So I'm reaching out to the public, and again, I am standing in front of them, but I'm talking to you behind me, the most important people. And that would be, I'm going to suggest to you what our new saying is. Maybe we should say this often enough that people will start to believe it. You're out of here. You're out of here. You're out of here. You're out of here. Enough of abuses of the people.
Robert Harris.
My name is Robert Harris, resident of Pima County, Chair Lady Bronson, Supervisors. Mr. Huckleberry stepped out for a second. I would like to talk a little bit about expenditures and what have you. It's almost the Wizard of Oz time when you pay no attention to the person behind the curtain. I'm sorry, I pause sometimes because I'm getting worse. You asked Chairperson Miller, Supervisor Miller, you asked that the board approve an audit of expenses. Then you voted against it. Was it just to cause trouble that you brought it up? And now that they were going to give you an audit of the expenses, and you voted no. I sat home and watched it. There are laws, rules, regulations that are pertaining to elections, and you're trying to influence elections, and you're utilizing state, county resources to do it. You're taking in-kind contributions from radio stations in this town that twist the truth. You and J.T. Harris are a team that is beyond belief. You go on the radio, you're taking free time from Harris, you give your opinions of what's going on, and you let nobody contest what you say. Title 16, 192, use of state resources, special district applies to you. 16.917, in-kind donations applies to you. Before you point fingers at other people, unless you have ulterior motives, you really ought to clean up your own expenses. You're voting here to buy millions of dollars worth of computer systems, and your website that you tout is paid for with county funds, and you won't even use the county website. Is that yes? You're shaking your head yes. So you're spending that money that you're pushing up on the entire board, and you're spending the money like that. Now, if I will start running through the audit of yours, but your expenses of your office are mid-range in a board of supervisors. You're not the lowest, you're not the highest. I'm sorry, I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Ms. Almquist?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Kristen Almquist, a resident of Pima County, a resident of the city of Tucson, and thank you for letting us have the call to the audience. I'm here today to thank the Board of Supervisors for allowing Prop 4015 to be on the ballot this year. I think it's important for our community to demonstrate that we support our animals and we support our neighborhoods. And I personally am voting yes, but I just want to make sure that you all know we appreciate your giving the voters a chance to say yes for this, because it is an important time for all of us. In addition to the animals, it's our neighborhoods, it's our community, it's our public health that are all going to benefit from it. Thank you again for allowing us to be part of this.
Thank you. If there's no further speakers, this meeting stands
Excuse
adjourned.
me, I'm speaking.
The meeting is adjourned.
Hey, sit down and let us
For,
speak.
and then you would not allow
We
them to
just
speak to item
adjourned. We
4.
just adjourned.
I spoke before the gavel happened. Let us speak.
That is outrageous.
Corruption.
Absolutely.
Corruption.
Corruption. Give the
Point
hundreds
of
of
order,
thousands
Madam
of
Chair. These
dollars.
people came down to
This
speak.
meeting is adjourned.
These people came to speak on this item, and you purposely would not allow them to speak on item 4, and you should allow them to speak in the open call. This is wrong. This is because you don't want to hear what these people have to say. They took their time and their effort to come down here. This is outrageous. Point of order, Mr. Stroud. Shouldn't people be allowed to speak when they come down here?
It's only 10 o'clock.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
members of the board, we have called the public, we have a protocol for that, it's up to the parliamentarian, who's the chair, to determine whether that's
And
compliant
all of
or
these
not.
people put in a speaker card and were denied the opportunity
Shame
to
on you,
speak.
Mr. Stroud.
Shame. Shame.
And the public employee, Chuck Huckleberry, who calls the shots, stand up and say something.
This is
What's wrong with
outrageous.
you people? And Mr. Elias, that you give out our public money, shame on you.
Give the hundreds of
Sharon
thousands of
Bronson,
dollars
you
back.
bully.
Wait. Give the money back. Give
Bully,
the taxpayers money
Now,
back to the taxpayers.
Huckleberry, cheater.
We stood up before the gavel went. He said, is there any other speakers? And bam, that is not fair. You gave us no chance to respond. They didn't understand.
Who is Mr. Harris anyway?
Thank you,
Where did
Shelley.
he come from?
Thank you for letting us know what's happening.
Yeah.
You're the only one that gets.
And they try to free her daily. You can see how they bully her.
I see that.
I come every week now because it's unbelievable what they do. Constantly. Constantly. And